Hello, you gorgeous thing. Welcome back to Erotically Empowered. I want to talk today about, I want to run through a quick list of mistakes that you may be doing right now that is actually blocking your pleasure. Mistakes that I made and many of my clients have made, things that you're doing on this pleasure awakening journey that you don't even realize is actually blocking you from experiencing what you want to experience. So I'm just going to run through these, give a quick explanation of each so you can begin to identify where you may be doing this and start shifting. Number one, pressure. Pressure kills orgasm. Pressure kills pleasure. I cannot say this enough. Pressure in any capacity. So pressure, firstly, in timing and expectation for when you, quote unquote, should become orgasmic and should feel. And you guys know that this was one of the biggest things for me to release and shift my mindset around, because I was doing the work, I was doing the practices, I was doing the somatic practices, the body connection, the recoding, all of that. And I was there going into self-pleasure going, okay, so I've been doing it. Why am I not feeling what I want to feel? So I was still putting this pressure on myself. And it wasn't until I let go and surrendered and was like, fuck it. I just know that this is who I am, and whatever time is going to pass anyway, I'm just going to focus on connection. That was when things started to unfold. But pressure kills orgasm. Orgasm, when we're talking here in free-flowing orgasm, we're not talking about forced with intensity or, bypassing with adrenaline. Orgasm is a build-up and release of energy that unfolds in presence and space and no pressure, no rushing. It unfolds in this space where it is given, where you are giving yourself time to unfold and expand. That is when orgasm, that this energy, this erotic energy, this orgasmic energy can build, can contract and expand. Not when you're watching it. When you watch a pot on the stove to boil, it takes freaking forever, doesn't it? It takes forever. That's not going to make it boil any faster. It's going to take the time it takes, just as it's going to take you the time it takes. And the minute you can stop, you can release this pressure and expectation. All right, let's set it on the calendar. In 3 months from now, I expect to be orgasmic. Or 6 months, whatever. Or, if you're doing that, you might as well just stop. Because you're holding yourself back. You are never going to expand into the pleasure you want to expand in when you are putting pressure. Pressure takes you out of the now. The now is where you need to be with that energy as it builds and contracts into, these beautiful orgasmic waves. That can only come from presence. And when you are putting pressure, you're taking yourself out of the present moment. Right? It can only exist. And pressure, we all know, right? If you are, in bed with your partner and your partner is doing something and says, oh my God, men, if you are listening to this, please don't ever do this. And a man says to you, oh, are you nearly there? Oh, I want you to come for me. Are you going to come for me? Look, okay, that may work if you are, nearly there and you got the kink of him, having that dominance and control. But I'm talking about just in general, when a partner is watching you and you can feel that they're only doing what they're doing because they're trying to get you there, you feel that pressure, don't you? And it's like an instant killer and takes you out of that present moment, When you can feel the energy of your partner trying to get you there, that is what you are doing to yourself. When you are putting that pressure on yourself, either in the moment or in this overall journey of pleasure, that pressure will kill your performance. That pressure will kill your pleasure and take you out of the moment which is where you need to be to feel. Okay. Number 2, this leads me into faking and performance. If there is a part of you that is pretending and acting, and you think that that intimacy needs to be this performance, again, you are taking yourself out of that present moment. Now, this is, I'm so vulnerable with you guys and I tell you everything, but I never went on top during sex. Or when I did, it was so confronting and nerve-wracking for me. And I didn't want to go on top because I thought sex and intimacy was a performance. That is how I saw it. And so I would never, go on top because I thought, what if I don't do it right? What if he's not enjoying it? What if this isn't, I'm not doing it right? And of course, in that mindset, when you think sex is a performance, deep intimacy, deeply profound intimacy, which is the space where, deep connection and orgasmic, ecstasy arises, is vulnerability, complete and utter vulnerability and surrender to that moment and that energy flowing in you and between you and your partner. You can't be there if you are thinking you need to perform. Okay? It's so funny. I giggle at myself. It was such a big thing. I cannot tell you what a big thing it was for me and to go on top. I cannot tell you. Whereas now, there is no performing. I know, and right now, as of this thing, I am still celibate, been celibate for quite some time now, loving this phase of my life, and I know that I will be attracting my, divine counterpart when the time is right from this space within me. But when I, began to experience incredible intimacy, and I shifted into, it was this knowing of fuck, yeah, intimacy with me is mind-blowing and incredible. I know how to create incredible intimacy, not because I am trying to do anything, but because of my ability to be completely fucking present. And this unshakable confidence arose from, sex with me and intimacy with me is just mind-blowing because of my ability to let go of any fucking performance trying to be some porn star, and my ability to be fully present in my body, to go with this energy between us, to feel the energy of my partner, and to just be so connected. This is what creates the mind-blowing experience. And that's worlds away from the part of me who used to never go on top because I was, scared because I thought it was a performance. And faking it, of course, that doesn't even really need much explanation. But if you are continuing to fake it, you are continuing to tell your body, you're conditioning yourself for this. You're conditioning yourself that your pleasure doesn't matter and we just need to pretend that it's all good. So, of course, when you continue to do that, you're shutting yourself off from expansion, right? Because you're telling your body that your pleasure doesn't matter. We can just fake our way there and get this over and done with. All right. Number 3. This one always ruffles a few feathers, but being the victim. Continuing to focus on how others have hurt you, and they very well may have hurt you and very well may have inflicted horrific things that you never ever deserved. They may have put you through, traumatic events and experience that you absolutely did not deserve on any level. But the way to move beyond this is to reclaim your power, is to take ownership back. Take ownership for now what you get to attract in your life, who you get to attract. And when you continue focusing on how others have hurt you, that is where you remain. You cannot attract, what you actually want if you are so focused on that victim mentality and what others did to hurt you. Your heart will stay closed. That is only harming you, babe. That is only harming you, and you deserve more. You deserve more than to let the pain that others have caused you control now what you experience. They don't have that power over you. Fuck no. But if now you want to experience and become this orgasmic woman, and there's a part of you that is still focused on what others have done to you, you're keeping yourself stuck. And so I urge you to, perhaps just reflect for a moment. Is there a part of you that is still holding on to this within me? And this is where the somatic work comes in, to be able to release and let go of that, but also the shifting your reframing to focus on what you actually desire. And I know this can it can be easier said than done, but you absolutely have the fucking power. You deserve to take your power back. And if you are focused on things in the past, you are stopping yourself from living in this moment and creating a new pathway for yourself. Okay, number 4, the mistake that is stopping you of experiencing orgasm: living in your head. Living in your head 24/7, and perhaps only ever trying to connect to your body when you go into self-pleasure, when you go into intimacy, and the rest of your days you spend living in your head. I was a compulsive overthinker. I was actually medicated partly for OCD thinking and rumination. So don't you tell me that I don't know what it's like to live in your head. I was the queen of living in my fucking head. It was interfering with my life that I had to ruminate on. So it's crazy. I sound, it's crazy, worlds away from where I am now, but I know, okay? And what enabled me to move beyond that was coming into my body, not fighting the thoughts, but coming into my body all day, every day, not just when I wanted to experience pleasure. So I started doing the body connection practices, nothing to do with pleasure, body connection, to start living in my body, because you have to inhabit your body if you want to feel what is going on in your body. If you want to feel the pleasure, you have to inhabit your body. And you have to feel emotion as it exists in your body, as it is alive, else you will store that discomfort, those uncomfortable emotions, and you will be in this chronic state of stress. You'll be disconnected from this aliveness, which this aliveness is where your pleasure lives. So living in your head is keeping you from experiencing your orgasm. Number 5, rushing. Rushing to get there. So this is related to, pressure, but rushing. Your body as a woman responds very differently to a man. Our arousal responds very differently to a man. We need space and time, because our deepest arousal is via our heart. It's via emotional safety, feeling fully safe. And it's like this delicious pot on the stove that slowly comes to boil, and just it's incredible. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, you can't have that quick, passionate, raunchy. But when you give yourself space in general, this is where your turn on can naturally develop and build. So when you are going into pleasure with yourself or with your partner, give yourself time and slowness. And you need to feel that your partner can give you this space. This is where you need to have discussions outside the bedroom, from the place of the I statements. I feel, I would like, I need, rather than putting blame on them. You always rush. But when you give yourself time, it can take I can't even remember now what the timing is, but I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it is, for a woman to reach peak arousal. And peak arousal is when you feel your peak pleasure, your greatest pleasure. Again, that doesn't mean that every single time it has to be long and slow. Absolutely not. But when you condition yourself that your body knows it's got time and space to open, this is where you begin to open. So when you're going into your self-pleasure practices and you find yourself, you're starting to use the touch tools, whatever, and you find yourself frantically rubbing, from old habits and old conditioning, slow down. Just breathe and come back to slowness. When you feel, and this actually helps you build your pleasure threshold, right? Here's another little thing for you. When you feel the pleasure starting to build and you feel that urgency to try and rush through it, pull yourself back, slow down. Slow down, use your breath. And then allow it to build, and then maybe pull back even more or stop and move to a different touch and then allow it, and then go back to allowing it to build. But notice where you are still trying to rush your body to get there and slow down. Okay, number 6, ignoring your own boundaries and desires. Your body, your divine intuition, feminine intuition, the more you connect to this, the more you will hear this, is guiding you every day with everything in your life as to what it desires, as to the next step on your path. The more you are connected to this, the more you will know and be able to follow with confidence the next path. And the more you will be able to hold your yeses and nos. But you've got to start listening and tuning in. And when your body is screaming, no, 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 and you are not listening and you are pushing forward saying, I'll just let it happen because, or the opposite, you want to say yes, but you say no, you're teaching yourself that you can't trust your body. And if you can't trust your body, do you think your body is going to open for you? You are cutting off, you are stifling this trust between you and your body that is required for you to completely surrender and melt, right? Trust is what creates safety. Safety is how we open as women. So you've got to start listening to these yeses and nos, paying subtle attention to when your body contracts or your body expands. Contracts for a no, expands for a yes. And start with the little things. But if you want to say, go and take that course to go and learn something, whatever, and you feel this fire really inside you to go and follow this dream, and you say no because of what other people will think or what other people want you to do, you are ignoring your desire. Do you think then that you are going to feel that desire? Do you think you are going to feel what this fire within you, which is where, the depths of your pleasure comes from? If you continue disconnecting from it, if you're teaching yourself that it's not safe to listen to that, you're teaching yourself that it's not safe to feel and listen into your body. So just be aware that this is so much more than just the bedroom with orgasm. This is why I wanted to do this episode. It's all these little things day in, day out, that when you start making these changes, this is where your, orgasm and turn on naturally unfolds. But starting to follow your desires, even when it comes to what do I desire to eat right now? Tune in, put your hand on your heart, one hand on pussy, if you will, or just bring your awareness inside. What do I actually desire in this moment? And follow that desire. If you continue to follow everyone else's desire other than your own, you're not going to be able to feel your full desire and pleasure, are you? No. Number 7, a lead on from that, soothing yourself with external things. Now, this is one that I have struggled with over the years. Not struggled, I don't want to say that, but journeyed with over the years, is soothing my emotions with external things. So when I was younger, it was, it was food, and I struggled, binge eating severely, bulimia, and then substance. But it was always nothing, not connecting to the emotion here, soothing with everything outside of me. And I even catch myself now, like I try and catch myself when I know I'm doing it. It's like, okay, I'm eating this food right now, not because I desire it, not because my body desires it, but because I'm soothing something here. What is it that needs to be felt? What is it that my body is longing to feel in this moment? And like I said, I still do it, and I catch myself. But if you are constantly soothing and shutting up your body by giving it something else rather than allowing it to be felt and seen and heard, it's, not rocket science. Then obviously what's going to be, occurring is this constant disconnect. So be aware in your life, or perhaps the habit of the wine at the end of the day, is this really actually unwinding you? Or is it masking the day's emotions that you haven't let yourself feel? Just some food for thought. And the last one, the last mistake that is stifling your orgasm is complaining. Being in a negative space, because this is low vibration, babe, low frequency. And remember, you attract what you vibrate at, what you are resonating with, like, period. Whether you believe it or not, laws of the universe, laws of frequency, you will be attracting. So if you continue to stay in this perpetual state of negativity all day, every day, outside of the bedroom, you're complaining about this, complaining about that, it's going to be much harder to then shift into this beautiful divine frequency of love and ecstasy and orgasmic bliss when that's not what you've been attracting all day. That's not what you've been aligning with, right? So notice where in your day, perhaps you are focusing on the negative, focusing on what went wrong. Start to shift into this high frequency of gratitude, being grateful for the things that you have, every single thing. Gratitude instantly shifts you into, high vibration. When you can sit there for 5 minutes and really start to absorb yourself into feeling grateful for what you have, this is where you elevate yourself and you put yourself in the position to experience and cultivate this divine ecstasy, right? So notice, start making, if you don't already, start, having a gratitude practice every day. But it's not just the little practice, it's all day, every day, what you are, like, catch yourself. When you notice you're complaining about, the traffic, catch yourself and shift it to, I'm grateful that I have this car, that I have this vehicle that takes me wherever I want to go. Like, shift yourself into that state. I cannot tell you the impact of me really focusing on frequency and vibration to me being able to open to this divinity within me. I cannot tell you the impact that this has had, and these things that you may not associate with pleasure and orgasm are truly so impactful. All these things that I've spoken about today. Like, just start being aware and look for little areas where you can, shift and incorporate, these into your life. I hope this helped. I would love to hear if this has resonated, or if, something you're going to really try moving forward from here. Thank you for being here. As always, I appreciate and adore you, and I will see you next time.